now that we have our blog set up here, we can go ahead and actually start blogging. So let's look at how the basic blogging structure works on WordPress, and so that we can see what are some of the best practices and how to go about doing this so that it looks good. So the first thing to keep in mind is it all depends on whether you have a basic or premium theme installed. Whatever theme you have installed, you're going to have, of course, a different layout, and you can kind of custom tailor your layout to your liking, of course, and depending on what business you're in or what you're blogging about. But your homepage is going to look different, and the pages of your website are going to look different, of course. Down here, you can see in this basic theme, you have the blog posts that are located all the way down here. Now, they don't have images associated with them because we haven't put any images to associate with them. So of course we can associate images with those posts, and that's pretty simple. What we want to do is we want to go into the latest news section. So we want to actually go into the blog section of the website, so we can just click on any of the posts. And of course we'll come in here and we'll see that we posted this Hello World post here. And so this shows us what we did, and of course, we have our widgets on this side. Now we could add more posts, but I wanted to get more into the posting structure so that you understand a little bit more about the basics of doing a proper post on WordPress. So let's go ahead and go into one of our posts. So I'm going to click on these posts, and I'm going to delete the Hello World post because we don't need that anymore. So I'm just going to click trash, and then I'm going to click on Welcome to HTML5. Because as you might already know, I also teach about SEO. And when you are doing posts on your blog, you want to make sure that you have high search engine visibility. Of course, you want Google to be able to find your posts. Now, I'm not going to go into great detail about SEO in this course. If you want to check out SEO and you want to learn more about SEO, you can check out my other course on SEO. However, what I want to do is explain the basic structures of doing a good post so that you understand how to do it and what you're doing. So when we are setting up our posts, for example, let's say that we want to speak about web development. The more detailed we are, as in the longer the term is that we're posting about, the better it's going to be, because it's more likely that we're going to be found. If you don't have a popular website, or you're building a site for a client or something like that, it's likely going to be that it's going to take them some time before they get increased search engine visibility, because there are a lot of different factors involved. But from the outset, there are some things that you can do, or they can do, so that they can give themselves a good leg up. Some of those things include using a long tail keyword, as in you want a keyword that isn't too broad, as in it isn't too short. So I wouldn't just type about web development, for example, if I wanted to post a blog. Because if I just typed web development, first of all, that isn't very specific. And if I were to Google something like web development, I wouldn't really find what I'm looking for. I would just find some information about web development, so on and so forth. But rather, what we want to talk about is we want to get very specific. So how do we do something involving web development? So we can say HTML5 best usability practices in web development. That's one way to get very specific. Or CSS best CSS tricks for building websites. These are what you call long tail keywords because they are more specific, so people are more likely to find you or your client's website when you're doing something like this. So when you're building your posts, you want to make sure that you have a keyword or a title. Of course, this is going to translate into that title. So if we were to hit cancel and I were to update this, so let's go ahead and update this. I can just remove this and hit OK, and it's going to put in the best CSS tricks for building websites. So you want to make sure that the name of your post is appearing in your permalink, because this has a big factor on whether or not Google finds the post. So there are a number of factors involved. Of course, you want to make sure that the keyword is in the name of the title, or the title, for example, and that the keyword is also in the permalink. And that's the best way to do it, is simply to set up that post name permalinks that we did before. And when you are actually writing the post, you want to make sure that you write a post that is organic sounding, and you're not trying to stuff keywords in, because you're not going to make any traction like that. So I know that this isn't a course about writing, and this isn't a course about SEO, but these are simply just some best usability practices that you can implement to ensure that you're getting a good leg up when it comes to SEO. Now, there are also some tags down here, and I wanted to highlight the tags to you. So not only do we have to write content that's good, but we also have to create tags. So if I were writing about best CSS tricks, I could do some tags like best CSS tricks. I could do web development CSS tricks. What you don't want to do is this, web development CSS. You don't want to do that. You want to have tags that will describe what you are posting about, but they aren't short one words. They are actually small phrases that all are relevant to whatever you're posting about. Do not write tags that are irrelevant. You don't want to do that. So Google will definitely penalize you for that. And you don't want to have too many tags. You don't want to tag bomb. So keep it short, 5 to 7 really good tags that are relevant to what you're posting about, and ensure that you are also using keywords inside of the post itself. So whatever I'm going to write about, I'm going to write it here. And then I also want to ensure that I'm sectioning my content. So at the top here, and there's this little toolbar toggle here that you want to click, and this will give you access to another line of tools on the WordPress system. So I could highlight this and give this a heading 1. Heading 1s are important because Google uses this heading, so it looks at 3 heading tags in combination with the name and the content and a few other, of course, relevant things, tags, photos, so on and so forth, to determine whether or not you are going to be found in its search engine results pages. So these are some best usability tactics when it comes to creating posts on WordPress. And in the next video, we'll look at the WordPress configuration a little bit.